There's a reason the palace is on edge tonight, because someone who knows far more than she ever admitted might finally be ready to talk. Reports are exploding that Sarah Ferguson is inches away from signing a massive six-figure deal, not to promote a project, not to rebuild her image, but to answer the one question the royal family never wanted the world to ask. What did she really witness during the years everything started to fall apart? For the first time, there's a real possibility that the person who lived beside Andrew through his most controversial moments could go on international TV and reveal what she claims to have seen, heard, or suspected behind closed doors. And insiders say the palace is terrified, not because of lies, but because she might finally tell the truth. This interview could reopen scandals they've spent years burying and expose details the world never got answers to. We're about to break down the money, the motives, the pressure, and the reason this one interview could tear open a chapter the royal family hoped would stay dead forever. Before we get into everything, do not forget to hit subscribe. Trust me, you're going to want to follow every twist that's coming next. The sudden frenzy around Sarah Ferguson didn't appear out of nowhere. Over the last few weeks, major American networks have quietly launched an aggressive bidding war, each offering her a jaw-dropping six-figure paycheck for a single, unfiltered conversation. Not a tour, not a documentary series, one interview. Because producers know something the public has suspected for years. She was there when the most controversial chapter of Andrew's life was unfolding, and she understands the rhythms, excuses, and whispered conversations that shaped those years. They want the gaps filled in, they want the timelines clarified, and they want the perspective of someone who lived inside the same walls during the exact period the questions became impossible to ignore. But beyond the blockbuster ratings, there's another reason these offers landed on her desk now. Sarah's financial world has been collapsing around her. Her books vanished from shelves. Her speaking gigs dried up. She lost the status she once relied on. And with the clock ticking on her time inside Royal Lodge, she's staring at a future with fewer options than ever before. A controlled interview, one she manages carefully, could give her what she hasn't had in years: money, relevance, and a chance to rewrite the story that has defined her for nearly a decade. But the money isn't what has Buckingham Palace shifting uncomfortably in their seats. And that's where the real tension begins. Behind the scenes, palace insiders are reportedly unsettled, not because Sarah might fabricate some wild story, but because she has a long history of speaking with more honesty than strategy. And this time, she has nothing left to protect, nothing left to bargain with, and nothing the palace can hold over her anymore. For years, officials depended on silence, on loyalty, on the unspoken rule that certain topics were simply never discussed publicly. But now, with her finances strained, her home slipping away, and her public standing damaged beyond repair, the usual restraints may no longer apply. That's what worries them. She's seen the inner machinery of royal life up close. The excuses offered behind closed doors, the shifting timelines, the decisions that never made sense from the outside. And whether she intends to or not, she could confirm details the palace has spent years trying to smother. Her past comments already tie her directly to the Epstein era. She defended him publicly. She accepted financial help linked to him. She later tried to distance herself, but the contradictions never fully went away. Interviewers will not tiptoe around any of that, and palace officials know it. The fear isn't that she'll lash out, it's that she'll open up. Because once she starts talking, stopping her might be impossible.
and the last royal who tried to defend himself on camera ended up igniting one of the biggest public disasters in modern monarchy.
Every conversation inside the palace circles back to one moment, the televised collapse that became a global punchline. Andrew's attempt to clear his name didn't just fail, it detonated. The sweating explanation, the Pizza Express alibi, the strange tone he adopted throughout. Every second of that interview turned into a symbol of how disastrously a royal can misjudge the public. That disaster still hangs over the monarchy like a warning sign. And broadcasters know it. They're hoping lightning strikes twice, this time through Sarah. They know she lived beside him during the years the controversies took shape. They know she witnessed patterns, shifts, and private tensions long before the public caught on. And they know she once called Epstein a supreme friend, a phrase that interviewers will throw back at her without hesitation. The problem for her is simple. Every route she takes leads to backlash. If she defends Andrew, she'll be accused of rewriting reality. If she distances herself, she'll face accusations of hypocrisy. And if she reveals private conversations, she risks setting off another firestorm that the monarchy is desperate to avoid. Networks want that pressure, they want that friction. And the palace knows exactly how unpredictable she becomes when emotion takes over. But what makes this even more dangerous isn't just the past, it's the timing. Because Sarah isn't the only one under the spotlight right now, and the next scandal isn't about her at all. What turns this situation from risky to explosive is the timing. Andrew is facing a fresh wave of scrutiny from the US Congress, the kind he has spent years trying to avoid. Lawmakers requested his cooperation regarding his ties to Epstein, gave him a clear deadline, and received nothing in return. The silence only fueled suspicions, and every missed response painted him deeper into a corner. So imagine the optics if Sarah walks into a studio now. Imagine her being asked why he won't testify, why he dodges questions, why every official request meets a closed door. Even if she tries to sidestep, her expressions, her phrasing, even a pause could become global news overnight. It places pressure on him at the exact moment he's trying to reduce it, and the tension is leaking into their home life. Insiders say the atmosphere inside Royal Lodge has grown icy, fractured, and painfully quiet. With their eviction looming, the stress is mounting. Andrew reportedly wants distance, privacy, anything that keeps new problems from landing on his doorstep. The last thing he wants is Sarah stepping into the spotlight and dragging the entire past back with her. But she sees this interview as her opportunity. He sees it as a threat. And the palace sees it as the spark that could reignite a scandal they've been desperate to bury. Which leads to the question everyone's asking. If she does sit down for this interview, what will she actually say?
If Sarah goes through with this interview, producers won't waste a second. They'll push her into the corners the palace never wanted illuminated. And the truth is, she may not have a perfect defense prepared. Her reputation has taken hits from every direction, and she may use this moment to reshape her public image once and for all. The safest route for her would be portraying herself as someone who trusted too easily, someone who believed the explanations she was given, someone who didn't see the full picture until it was too late. That narrative allows her to admit regret without admitting guilt. It lets her position herself as emotionally naive rather than complicit, and it gives her room to separate her own actions from Andrew's choices. She may also claim that Andrew kept his private dealings away from her, that she wasn't looped into the late-night conversations or the suspicious friendships. It's a believable strategy. Their relationship has always blurred the line between closeness and distance. She could lean into that grey area and present herself as an outsider living inside the royal bubble. But interviewers won't let her run from the harder questions. They will bring up her financial ties to Epstein, the help she accepted, and the comments she made long before the scandal erupted. Even if she tries to reframe them, each answer risks creating new contradictions, ones the palace fears will spiral into fresh headlines. And that's what makes this so unpredictable. She might reveal nothing shocking, or she might let something slip without even realizing its weight. A single sentence, a hint, a subtle acknowledgement, any of it could shift public perception overnight. For the networks, that unpredictability is gold. For the palace, it's a nightmare. For Andrew, it's potentially catastrophic. And in the end, everything hinges on one final question. Will she actually take the seat in front of the camera, or is this all building toward another royal disaster waiting to happen? If this interview happens, it won't just shake the palace, it could rewrite everything we thought we knew about one of the most controversial chapters in modern royal history. And the moment Sarah makes her decision, the entire story shifts again. So let me know what you think. Will she go through with it? Will she hold back? Or will she finally say the things no one else has dared to put on record? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want every update, every leak, and every twist the moment it breaks, make sure you're subscribed. There's much more coming, and you won't want to miss what happens next.